talking about TaleSpire today. It just came out on Steam. It is a tabletop builder in 3D. You can build all sorts of very cool boards for whatever tabletop games you like. It's not on sale on Steam yet, but I highly recommend paying full price for it to help out the developers because it's really that good. And it's only 25 bucks, so it's really not that bad. And when you see what it can do, you will agree. It's already created a nice tutorial map for us here. This is just going to be helping out beginners. What they have recently provided was a very nice tutorial here. Right here. And we'll just go through all this really quick. So F1 is this bar down at the bottom here. It pops up and down like that. Contextual readout providing helpful information depending on what your cursor is floating over. So once you have stuff put down, you'll be able to check out all the little tooltips, if you will. Okay. Basic camera movement, pretty much just like a lot of building sims and stuff. You move the camera around with right click. WASD moves it around. The directional keys do not. And then of course to move the camera just straight up and down, you can use the slider, or you can hold control while right clicking to do the same thing. You can also use the page up and down keys if you want. Okay. The board center. This is just if you need to snap back to the middle where you started. There's a little dot on the ground here. And there's also this circle, which is your current vision. So if you ever want to return to that, you just hit F2 and then put your slider down, and you'll see that the little dots reconnect. So if you move, F2 will bring it back. Okay. Excuse me, I have a bit of a cold, sorry. Okay, campaign settings. This is for the game master to set up all of his players and all of their stats. Very handy, very useful. You can see it's color coded, which is really nice. Pretty much straightforward. It's so intuitive, you'll get the hang of it right away. Let's see, and then of course there's multiplayer aspects that are already built into the game. You don't need any add-ons or anything. All you got to do is just generate this invite code, send it to your friends, and they'll be able to jump right into the map once they're in game. That's also a very nice feature. It makes it easy to just get your players in and start playing right away. Let's see. That takes care of the overview. Now let's get to building, the fun part, right? That's why we're all here. So we already created a board. That's done. But if you ever want to restart, you can just go into here and create a new board. It's easy as that. Okay, build mode. There's one of two ways. You can hit B, like this, or you can just click the little square up here. It does the same thing. And to open up your library to see what you can actually build with is O. You can also just click the tab down here. And you can hit space to remove all your menus, which is nice, you know, if you just want to look around. So let's just throw some floor down here. Nice and easy, right? Very smooth, very easy to work with. Rotate with the middle mouse button. Simple as that. Okay. To the build controls, I kind of just went over, but there's a couple other ones here. We already placed some stuff, so if you click on an item and hold Alt, it will allow you to rotate which direction it's going. Let's do it with the stairs here. See? Now you can also do that with the middle mouse button, but some pieces let you do angles. So let's like put down this tent. Okay. And now I can rotate it like this, see? Very nice. Okay. If you need to clip, just hit Shift, and it'll move along the plane that it's on and be able to move through objects. And you can place it there if you wanted to. And if you don't hold shift, see, it won't let you do that. If you hit shift, the grid comes on, which is nice. It'll show you right where you are. And then if you want to go up and down, instead of shift, you hold control, and that allows you to go up and down like this. And then if you want to get rid of something to just delete it, you just hold onto it and right click. It's as easy as that. Okay, so let's just move that back over here. There we go. Okay. Now let's do the multi-select. Let's say I wanted to recreate this room, right? Well, you just drag out horizontal, then drag up for vertical. It'll take you a couple tries, but you'll get used to it. So you just pull out and then lift. Once you let go, it'll let you pull up. And then you click one more time to make the selection. Now, and then right click if you want to deselect, but we don't want to do that. So then you can just copy and paste. So hit C and then V. Or actually, you don't even have to hit V, it just automatically. Control V. Should we work with one? Oh, it's because I have duh. You just set it down with your left click. There. See, now I have two. And of course, if I wanted to remove that, very nice, just Control Z and Control Y to bring it back. Plain and simple. The build grid we kind of touched a little. If you want to toggle it without hitting shift and just kind of put it on your mouse like this, it's really nice. Turn it off, shift does it for like around the item as well. And I believe control does the same thing, yeah. So they all kind of bring that up for you. You can also adjust it over here. So you can adjust the height by dragging the hammer icon to the right or by hovering over an existing object and pressing H. And that see how this moved a little bit? Like, I'm going to put this down. Come over here, H, and it moves it a little. This will sample the height of that surface. You can always also use the sample height for grid in the building menu. Okay, and if you want to hide something, like if you're working with multiple stories, like they're showing here in the demonstration, it's this green slider up here. And that'll allow you to work on multiple floors and work your way up or down instead of having to try to, you know, fight the camera through the house. Atmosphere settings are very nice in this. You can change it from night and day. You can adjust the fog so it's spooky or not so spooky. Exposure is just, you know, a camera setting. You can even change the music. I'm gonna go ahead and lead off. I already got my Christmas tunes going, so. But yeah, you can have different ambiance, and then the ambient is like the background sounds, you know, like wind or the sound of a hammer on an anvil, stuff like that. And of course, you can change the volume settings there. And then when you're done, you just apply. Simple as that. Water plane. I kind of mentioned this before, but I kind of like to start with just a little water and then build like an island or a continent or whatever. But you don't have to. You can just leave it off if you don't want it. And now we get to creating slabs. So what I have here is my little creation. You could call this a slab. And when you use the selecting tool, like this, go up, select it. Okay, there you go. And then hit Control C. And then you go into your notepad. And there you go. You have a line of text that you could send to your friends. And they could take that text and basically just copy it right into their game and make another copy of it. Now, slabs only go up to a certain size, so keep that in mind. They can't be too big. I forget the exact measurements, but they do plan on increasing it, so no worries there. Just right now, they kind of wanted to get things started, get things going, and slabs get a lot bigger than this. Slabs can get probably, I would say, 6 or 8 times this size, so you can make a pretty big size slab. But if you want to get even bigger than that, No problem. That is making a board. The way you make a board, or just copy your entire board that you're working on. Let's see if I can get to it here. Boards, here you go. It's this, you click on this little globe icon that says boards, and then you go over this little one that kind of looks like a Wi-Fi icon. Publish copy of current board. You just click on that, and then it should have a name in here. It just says unknown realm for now, but then it's hidden, because they encrypt it for you if you need to. And then boom, text was copied to the clipboard. Go back to our notepad here. Go down a line. Now you'll notice it's a URL instead of a string. Well, that's the developers working hard to condense that huge board into a URL for you. So now what you can do is you can go to a nice website like TaleStavern.com, which is affiliated with the TaleSpire folks, I believe. I think there might be another one you can go to, but this is the one that I was introduced to first, and it's really good. You can check out other people's work or share your own once you have that URL or that string, and voila, you can post it for everyone to check out. Here's mine. This is a map that I made. They have a very nice walkthrough guide that step by step will tell you exactly how to do it. And even without it, somebody could just walk you through and chat. It's very simple. And then you just provide your screenshots, throw it up on there. People can take a look and say, hey, I want to play on this. And then what they do is they grab that URL, see, display URL, copy it, and then you can just post it in your game. I'm not going to do that just because it's so big, but let's go ahead and look at a slab here. Like so. Okay, copy the code, see? And then I go into my game, paste it, and now I have his slab. I could put it like mine, like right here. There, and now my slab is kind of like on the side of his, like a dock or something. There you go. And let's give credit where it's due. This is by 2Haiku. It's actually the most recent submission. He did a great job. Look at his pictures here. Ooh, nice interior. He's got like a Santa Claus like house theme going. Christmas theme, He's got his little looks like the presents turn into monsters and the tree's alive. That's great. That's funny. And you'll notice, just like back in the old days when our dads would play board games, they would make literal slabs out of wood and whatever. And it's a good idea to keep your slabs like this, like a rectangle. That way you can snap them together with other slabs and mix and match and have all sorts of different varieties for your game. So that, I believe, is probably one of the best parts of this whole new thing, is that they did an excellent job with that. Okay, so that takes care of that. Very handy there. Creating slabs. Okay, we're done with the building then. Now we're on to playing. So let's see here. Let's get cozy on our map. Rolling dice is super simple, okay? My tutorial is covering it up right now, but basically what it does is that once you leave build mode, just hit B or click up here. You've got all these dice to select from, so let's pick the classic 20-sided. And there you go. It's just a simple left click, drag and roll like that. Then right here it displays the number, so you don't have to be super, aware. It'll just tell you. I believe that I might have gotten this through a friend who gave me a little widget or something to make it pop up like that. I can't remember if that's default or not. Apologies if it's not, but I'll post a link in the description if I remember that, where you can get that little add-on, he said, where it just pops up and says that. But I'm pretty sure that this is part of the default. I just can't remember. Anyways. Okay. Rolling dice is super easy. Let's try these ones. It's the same thing. Super easy. Now, creature controls, this is where you start getting into your little figurines. So let's throw some down really quick. That's going to be in the build menu down here. You have these three icons on the left here. This is just basic building materials like walls and stuff. These are all your figurines of all different kinds and miscellaneous decor items. So let's throw down some figures. Let's just do this guy and this guy. Okay. Now I'm not sure why, but in build mode, once you put them down, it won't let you like grab them again unless you're in play mode. So now I can pick them up, see? And if you want to delete it, you just go to this X, the kill menu, and kill creature, and that will remove it from the board. That's kind of the workaround I have if I put a figurine down and I want to delete it. You just got to go into, it's called exploration mode. I call it play mode, and use that menu to delete it. So, creature controls, free movement, hold, and pick it up, just like I was doing before, like so. But you can also rotate it in place. This one's a little tricky. For some reason, I have to hit Alt twice for it to do it right now, but once it works, it works. See, you can just spin them in place. If you want to keep them on the same plane, you hold Shift. If you want to move them up and down, you can hold Control, just like the building tools, basically. And if you want to move it like an actual piece, I use the Control, the arrow keys. So you can make him like walk like it goes one square at a time, one grid at a time. So he can walk like it. So one of the great ways to practice is just make a chessboard and then put your figures on it. And you can just make a simple chessboard to play with your friends. You don't have to make a Dungeons and Dragons map like this. You can just make a chessboard with pieces on it like that. Super easy and a great way to practice. That takes care of creature controls. Teleport minis. So if you hold shift, then click on them, it will allow you to suddenly make them move instead of making them walk. And this would be handy if like you wanted to set a trap and the trap would teleport a player to a different location, like way on the other side of the map. Instead of having to drag it over there, you can just make it instantaneous. Okay. And radio menus. Okay, this is the menu they're talking about here. I already showed you the kill. There's also the GM tools, which is like a sub menu. It lets you assign the character or the piece to a player so they can control their character piece, for example. You can change the base color, so if you have two of the same type, the base can be red for one and blue for the other. That way you can keep track. You can change the size, so let's make him a boss. Now he's huge. Isn't that cool? That's pretty awesome. And check it out. I love this little detail they added for like it's the little things. When you set him down, the ground shakes because he's a giant. See that? It's the little things. I love it. Um, yeah. What else? What else? Okay. Radio menu. So we change the size in the GM tools. I think that's you can change the name. You can make it a unique, like a boss or something if you wanted. Uh, and then okay, fly toggle. It's pretty self-explanatory. It removes the base, and now he's floating. So kind of gives him like a cool effect if you want to do that. This keeps track of his health. This would keep track of his stats. You can mess with all that when you're the game master and you get to choose all that stuff. Very handy. He has emotes, so if he's surprised, you you can it makes a little exclamation point come up over his head too. You can't see it because of the snow, but it's like Snake from Metal Gear Solid and the wiggle. Yeah, just a little added effect. Torch, pretty self-explanatory. It lights them up for you, so if it's really dark, you can light them up so so everyone can see better. And hide, I'm not going to do that right now, but it would make them vanish, and then later you can set scenarios where they appear. If like someone steps on this tile, he would suddenly pop up. You can do stuff like that, and that takes care of all those. Attacking is very cool. They have these neat little animations you can do for ranged and for melee. So as you can see in the demonstration here, it shows the mage shooting, and the melee person kind of makes like a little punching motion, and it moves their opponent a little. So nothing too fancy, but they're adding more soon, I'm sure. So you'll probably get different spells and all sorts of different things to choose from. But right now, it's at least they have melee and ranged, right? Okay, and then the rulers, of course, you're going to need these for determining like distance for shooting arrows and things like that. That can just be, you just press M, or it's over here in this little menu here, and it's kind of hard to tell. Here, I'll put on this path here. And then that allows you to like measure distance. You can measure the size of an explosion. If a nuke went off here and you didn't know how big it was, there you go. You got a nice ruler there for you. Very handy. The chat history, I don't really use chat much because I'm always on voice, but if you need it, it's there. You just press enter, and it's actually kind of cool. It'll make your character talk for you. If I'm in the right, oh, I think I need to close out here. There we go. And then just say, hello, world. And whoever you have selected will talk, and it makes that little bubble pop up. That's pretty cool. That's very neat. And that takes care of playing. Now we're on to Gamemaster tools. And we kind of went over this in the radio menu, but if you need to give control of a player, you just go into the GM options and assign it to whichever player's on. I'm the only one on right now, so I can't really demonstrate that very well, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Enable flying, we already did that with, excuse me, this guy. And hide and reveal. We'll watch the demo for this because I don't really want to do it. And there, when you go into master overlay, which is tab, you'll be able to see invisible stuff. So all right, I'll show you. Let's see here. Is it in the GMs? It is. No, it isn't. I'm crazy. Yeah, right here, hide. So now if he's gone, he just vanished. But if I hit tab, there he is. So if I was the GM and I was playing, I could see him, but the other players couldn't. Their icons would, or their characters would look like this. So that's definitely useful. Hide reveal is done. Exploration mode, that's basically what we're in now. If you're not in build mode, it defaults to exploration mode. And that's what allows us to, drag these guys around like that. When you're in build mode, you can't touch them. Okay, and then turn-based mode. That's the next icon up here. There's 3. Turn-based mode. On the minis you want to populate the queue with, you can move them around once they're in. This is basically how you determine who gets to go first. So turn-based mode, and you'll see this previous and then the little gear sign and then next. You click on the gear sign, apply turn orders. So now that this has popped up, don't click on it yet. Just click on the guys that you want. So this guy would go first, and we'll say this guy would go second, okay? And then apply turn order. And that way when you're playing, it'll keep track of whose turn it is. So if you have 8 people, you'll be able to assign their order based on their initiative or whatever stats you need. Okay, and then to close the tab, you can either click this or just hit tab. And that takes care of that. Cutscene mode. This one's pretty fancy. What this does is it lets you like take screenshots or whatever, and then kind of use it as like to set the scene, if you will. So that's up here. This little button that looks like film. That's cutscene mode. You can let's like grab a shot of the front here of the house. Grab that, and then when you send the shot to the players, you click on this little eyeball icon. Looks like, what is that? This CBS icon. Um, then that will be what the players are seeing. So they explain it pretty well here. You can set up shots by the grab shot button, which we did. The eye icon to show the players, which we did. The movie reel icon will move the shot to a GM block where you can save it within the GM overlay. So when you hit tab to a GM block, they're talking about a GM block. So that is, I believe they'll explain that next here in the Gamemaster overlay, I think. Yeah, in the blocks here. We'll get to that in a sec. So enter the GM overlay by playing tab. I already told you that. From here, you can perform tasks on the board that players cannot see or have access to. Marker blocks can be placed and activated to fetch all players to a certain area on the board. So if they step on a trap and you want to teleport them all as a group somewhere, you can use that functionality here. Atmosphere blocks, of course, this is like if you want to turn the lights on or off and trigger it with a certain block. That's how you do it here. Good way to store changes in the atmosphere if you'd like to have certain areas on the board. Okay. And then, oh, here we go, cinematic blocks. This function, very much like cinematic mode, here you can store cinematic information, helpful for certain rooms or areas on the board which need their own special attention. And as you can see, they're kind of like you make the block and then you can tie the screenshot that you want to it, or not the screenshot, yeah, I guess it just says grab shot, so the grab shot, if you will. See, they're just attaching it. It's that simple. Hide volumes. Hide volumes allows the GM to select a group of tiles and hide them. So you can hide an entire room if you wanted to, like make it a secret. You just edit hide volumes. So to create a hide volume, you edit hide volumes, create hide volume, and drag plus select an area you'd like to hide. So it's similar to the building tool that you can copy and paste with, but this one is just used for hiding it. And then the GM would use tab to be able to see it, while the other players do not. And that takes us to last but not least, photo mode, which you can do by hitting F6. And this basically just allows you to take awesome screenshots of your hard work that you've been doing. If I can, there we go. And it allows you to get bigger shots, move around, and then you click this button down here to take your screenshot. You can set the timer on it if you want. Put it to 2. You can't see because of the snow. There we go. 1, 2, and 3, or 4 rather. And then it'll hide everything for you. You press your screenshot button on your keyboard, and it tells you it was copied. And then you can go into your Paint or whatever program you use and paste it to start making your screenshots for when you share your map. It's really that simple. I just got to figure out how to close it. I might have stumbled across a wee bit of a bug here, actually. It's not letting me close it. Won't let me hit escape out either. Okay, hold on. Pardon me. It is still in early access, so it's not going to be perfect. But as far as early access games, this is by far one of the best I've ever played. And that's saying something because I've played a lot. Let's get back in there. There you go. Okay, now press space to open your menus. F6 to enter camera mode. There we go. Now I can move better and it's back to normal. So I'm not sure what caused that glitch, but just FYI for the future. Be careful when you're in switching from modes. It might have been because I was in cinematic and then tried to go into camera. Maybe that's what messed it up, but I'm not sure. But yeah, this just allows, and there's tons of really cool camera options too. Like you can change the light while you're in here. You can change the focus distance, so to kind of make it like if you're zoomed in on something, you can change the focus to kind of like just barely look at it, but like blur the trees in the background, so you can get these really cool effects. A lot of just basic camera effects, you know. If you know how to use a camera on any software, you'll be able to handle this. You can change the camera settings. Experimental, I really like this one a lot. You can't do this in build mode yet, unfortunately, but you can do it in camera mode. I really hope in the future they let you do this in build mode because it's incredibly useful for copy, like selecting areas. And yeah, and then you just raise this to get up as high as you can. It's as simple as that. Okay. And then you hit escape to get out of it, and you're back into build mode, or in this case, exploration mode. Okay, and I think that's it for the tutorial that they have so far. So this is part one of the introductory series. And the next one we'll go over some more details on building and story creation and stuff like that. That's going to be down the road. So thanks for tuning in. Again, I'm Stevo. Thanks for checking out my brand new channel. I'm sorry it's still in the works, so this is just me practicing right now. I'll probably be set up in about a couple months to actually start streaming and take it more seriously. But right now, just practice. But I did notice that there wasn't a lot of tutorial videos for this new TaleSpire that came out, so I wanted to help with that and show my love for the community. Speaking of which, I already told you about TaleSpire, or Tales Tavern rather. Very good place to find maps, and if you do find one you like, go ahead and give it a heart to tell me that you used it. You can also go in here and leave comments and mention it. Very cool stuff. The team also has a Discord, the TaleSpire Discord, and they are very helpful. You can see I'm already in here hanging out with everybody, and they're really cool guys. They have streams and games going on that you can participate in or watch. I love to just watch people play because I'm still learning myself. So I definitely recommend at least the Discord and Tales Tavern when you start playing, so you can get the help that you need. And otherwise, I think that's it for now. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time.